The big event, sir, is behind us now. RBI came, the decision is out, status quo out and out. I mean, on both rates and the stance. Anything that stood out for you from what Mr. Das had to say?
Thank you, Suyash, and morning to all of you also. Nothing that was outside the ordinary or expectation, to be very honest. Uh, and I was surprised, the question that was asked by some journalists that will you follow what the US Fed is doing? I mean, how mature you are to ask that kind of a question to the RBI governor? I mean, don't you have your own data points to look at that you have to ape what the US and the US Fed does? I think it was just because you have to ask a question, you should not ask. You should have some kind of, weightage behind it. Having said that, nothing out of the extraordinary from what was expected. I think it was in line. And there was another question that was put forward to the RBI, Honorable IBR Governor, was that from when the rate cuts will start. I mean, you ask these kind of questions, what are you trying to prove? I mean, the RBI Governor is not here to give you dates from where he's going to cut, and all this is going to be data dependent. And more importantly, I think the comfort zone that I drew was that inflation is likely to come to the 4% mark where the Monetary Policy Committee will start feeling comfortable and start thinking about rate cuts. Along with that, you have supportive growth rate, and 7% is what is benchmarked towards the growth. And of course, on the crude oil front, the kind of boil we are seeing, we expect it to settle down more because of the geopolitical situation, less because of the demand supply issue. On the markets front, I think slowly, steadily we'll inch up. We will possibly see new highs uh, every second, third day. There will be days of profit booking also, yes. I expect some bit of profit booking because we have, uh, come up to this level in a fairly decent span of time. Truncated week, as you mentioned, this week and next week will be also truncated. So let's see a little bit of consolidation in profit booking before we move much higher from here on. But I think the triggers are positive. I don't think you're going to see any kind of a huge sell-off or a meltdown. At best, some percentage points downside could be healthy for the market.
All right, and to your point, sir, the markets, I mean, overall the setup is, the texture of the market is looking rather positive, and Nifty for one had been lacking a leadership role, and Nifty bank and banking stocks in general have filled in that space. The banking stocks are staging a healthy recovery, and HDFC Bank is leading from the front. Now, the business update, the Q4 business update for the bank came out, HDFC Bank I'm talking about, and deposit growth, Gaurang, was rather strong. I mean, that was a big pain point for the banks, right? So, do you think that the worst is over for the banks, considering that deposit growth is also picking up and we have monetary easing down the road?
You know what I've learned? One thing, Suyash, in the market is never try to preempt anything or never try to jump the gun. Take everything as it comes in your stride and try to evaluate, try to dissect it, try to understand it, and then possibly take your next step forward. And we've been discussing HDFC Bank for a pretty long period of time before that report came out, which actually sent some kind of shivers down the spine when some foreign brokerage chap told us that there will be margin pressure. I mean, wasn't it known to all of us after the great merger that all of us were so excited about on the street? Let's face it. So we maintained a positive stance then, we maintain a positive stance now. And I think it is good and very encouraging to see this kind of advances and deposit numbers. A strong CASA number also is desired. And everything is falling in its place as what we had anticipated. And we are still maintaining a positive view. I am always maintained one thing, Suyash, is that financials, that is banking, whether it is public sector bank, private sector bank, or strong NBFCs, are going to witness tremendous amount of credit growth, and because of that you are going to see loan book growth. The only thing we have to watch out is that they do not drop their guard in terms of risk profiling and ensure a strong return of principal and interest. I wouldn't be surprised to see not only this fourth quarter, this last quarter, this financial year, but also for the new financial year that began on 1st of April up until next year and possibly for the next couple of years. I think financials, banking, and NBFCs are going to do well.
Good morning, Gaurang, and it's going to be a hot, sweltering and sultry summer, so says the IMD. The heat waves are going to be hotter than they have ever been, as have been projected by the department. Air conditioner manufacturing company stocks in the very first week of April have surged almost 15%. What do you make of this pack? Even something like an EPAC durable, which was in the negative when we consider 1-year returns, has been positive in the last 5 days as much as 12%. So are you going to see a big rally in these stocks and this pack as between April and June? Or is it just going to be the first week of April where people buy their stuff and then the stocks are going to basically taper down?
Amit, the problem is that AC is now a requirement for 365 days, especially with the kind of climate change that we are witnessing. Point number one. Point number two, there was a little bit of concern in terms of demand coming in from semi-urban and rural India. But I think most of the AC manufacturing companies and cooler manufacturing companies have come out with entry-level products, which has seen a decent amount of growth and has added to the volumes and the profitability overall. So we remain positive, and I mean, not that we are going to see severe summer only this time, possibly because of the climate change and all that. We may be in a period wherein we'll have to see sustained longer period and high temperatures as far as the summer season is concerned. And otherwise, you definitely have sales going through. So we remain positive on consumer durable white good appliances companies like Voltas, Blue Star, Symphony, Whirlpool, if I have my memory right. And my sense is that you will have demand coming in from metros and tier 2 cities, but more so from tier 3, tier 4, semi-urban and rural India, especially post the election, and as more disposable income starts coming on the hand of semi-urban and rural India. I think entry-level ACs and coolers is something that you should watch out for.